What's up, guys? Welcome to podcast number 4. Today we are talking about school. Alan's counting to 4. That's all he learnt in school. We're going to talk about our school experiences in primary school and secondary school. No further than that, because we're all dumb and we never went any further than that. We're still stuck in high school.
High school never ends.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Apologies if you hear any sex noises. Jacob is obsessively watching porn. Moving on. Who would like to go first?
Because
what do you want to start with?
Because I made a noise, I'm going to start. And I'm going to go nice and simple with... in high school, we're just going to skip over primary school, apparently, so we'll go back to that. We'll start at primary school because that came first. I don't remember much from primary school, but there was a snow day once where we threw snowballs at each other, which was wonderful. Like, huge mounds of snow on either side of the playground, and I got basically every award you can kind of see in the background there came from primary school. Well, the ones that you can't see, which are kind of lead flat medals, didn't. They came from high school, from when I was a little sporty boy. But it was an experience. Never got the shiny Mars bar that my manager, my headmaster used to always go on about. You did something good, you got a shiny Mars bar. It was just a Mars bar.
Okay.
Fuming.
I was fuming, man. I was a top student. I got 5s in everything.
Well, clearly not good enough. You didn't get the shiny Mars bar.
I got 5s in everything. And what I did get though is I won a Nintendo DS SP. Not Nintendo DS, a Game Boy Advance SP.
I was going to say, how young are you if you're in primary school and a DS came out?
Yeah, so I won a Game Boy Advance SP.
I was in primary school when the DS came out.
Big one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So maybe the big fat one.
Yeah.
I think we're probably
My
finishing
sister had a pink
primary school.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, that's probably all would have been in the same school year.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to talk about their primary school before I go on?
I can move on from that. When I was in primary school, I don't know why what you said made me think of this, but I had a very vivid imagination, probably because I've got bipolar.
That probably
but I always played these games in the playground, I just really vividly imagined things, and I dragged my friends. I had this friendship group of these 3 girls, and I was semi good friends with most of the year, I think. But I played these games, and we would play Harry Potter, and we would play Lord of the Rings, and we would insert ourselves into these games. We would make characters, and we would run around the playground acting them out, and we became obsessed with vampires at one point, right? And we were convinced that we were vampires, and we had this whole thing going on where we would chain ourselves, not with real chains, as children. We would pretend to chain ourselves to these posts and then try and convince boys to come and free us as vampires. And I'm what? Why did we do this? We had these very we watched some weird stuff for kids though,
The Addams Family, just on repeat.
Oh, I don't even know, but we played such bizarre games, and we were always running all over the place. And then at some point I just started collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and it all went out the window.
I played normal games What Time Is It, Mr. Wolf? And I wasn't a vampire, I was a wolf.
I mean, I just joined Sally on the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. I like to collect things. I had Crazy Bones, I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I had Pokemon cards, I had Beyblades.
I had a Beyblade.
Everything that came, I got it. I was yes. I collected football cards. I've always despised football, but football cards came, and I was something to collect.
Right. Well, I was going to say, while you said it, right, Crazy Bones, how did you used to play it? Because I'm pretty sure when we used to play it, you'd like flick them against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then for some reason, every time I tried to flick it, I'd just smack it with my nail and put myself in agony. And that's like the main thing I remember. Like you say, crazy bones, and my fingers hurt.
Oh, I used to have this Beanie Baby cat, right? And the
Right.
two girls I hung out with, they had Beanie Baby cats as well. And we used to run around like throwing them up in the air and seeing who could throw them highest. And I threw mine over the fence.
Oh
and
no.
and I had a massive breakdown. And this guy, Connor, he was trying to like put his hand under the fence and like pull it back for me. And in the end, the teacher had to go out and get it for me because I was just like crying my eyes out. Like, oh man.
With
Primary school was lit.
I had the best Beyblade because I had a metal center in mine and everyone else was using plastic. I
Oh,
won every time.
yeah, yeah. I did the same.
Until I was at my grandma's and went, let it rip. It flew over the garden wall, went into the middle of the road, and a car just came and went, gone. I was like, there goes all the metal bit of my.
I mean, at least we know who wins between a car and a Beyblade now.
Yeah, that's true. Sadly, the Beyblade was no match.
Well, if you asked me if when I was a kid, I would like Beyblade, obviously.
Beyblade, obviously. I mean, cars don't even spin.
Oh, do you remember that like 40 minutes before school watching TV? Like those programs that were on?
No, because because my mum worked in the morning, so I got like taken to school and dropped off in the playground, or yeah.
I was big lazy. I just woke up and went to school.
Yeah, I was in the playground, and like that's when I had my snowball fight, and we'd play like games before school, wait for break, continue the game.
Yeah, if I was up early enough, I'd just play games, as we talked about last week, and when I had to try and pause Sonic and leave it on all day.
Yeah,
but I think that.
I get what you're saying, but like primary schools only open the gates at a certain time.
Yeah, so I got dropped off when the gates opened.
I mean, so did I.
Yeah.
So did you only wake up in time to be dropped off at the school gates?
There was like before school clubs and stuff like that with some schools.
There was. I was at breakfast club as well, where my fondest memory of breakfast club is the teacher that ran it. Well, the TA that ran it was like, "We've got 4 loaves of bread that expire today," and I'm like, "Leave it to me." And I ate like 2 loaves worth of like peanut butter and jam sandwiches in the morning. It was so good. Like I don't know where I put it because like I was stick thin. Like I'm not like big now, but back then I was like I was literally bone, and I ate so much bread. It was great.
Hey, honestly, I think the one thing I remember from primary school, for some reason I remember this, was my phone decided to stop working, and I thought, what do I do? There's a wall there. I'll throw it at the wall, and it started working again. And then from that point on, either a Nokia or a Samsung. I think it might have been
Probably
like
a Nokia.
One of the earlier Samsungs. So I remember having a Samsung, and I was like, "This thing's indestructible. I just throw it, and it like doesn't break." And then one day I decided to try and prove it, and I yeeted it across a park, and it landed on top of a railing with a really spiky fence, and just landed screen first.
Oh.
But I do have one more memory, and it's going even further back to when I was in nursery. So like just before going into primary school, but it was like attached to the primary school. So it's the same thing really. But I remember that I annoyed a teacher so much that they hit me, and then they got fired.
Wow.
And that's like my one memory.
Did you sue them?
I just remember being like, I don't remember it that vividly, but I think I just got told that so many times growing up that I'm like, oh yeah, apparently I did this. That must have been really annoying.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, I'd hit you if I was your teacher.
Not even for any particular reason. Just
no, just because it's you.
Don't let your face.
Primary school was just so like weird. It must be so different now because like, do you remember like there were? You look back and you're like, what the fuck? Like I remember interactive whiteboards coming in.
Yeah, we did.
Like, and only certain classrooms had them.
We had
initially.
in my last year, in year 6, we had one of them fancy projectors that was like an interactive whiteboard, but it was the projector, not the whiteboard, and it just never worked. Like half the lesson, she's like, I've just got to reprogram it, getting the dots everywhere.
So at mine, I think by the time I left, I think we had 2 interactive whiteboards. But obviously the aim was that everywhere was going to have them. Eventually.
I feel like your school's really bougie.
But remember, like at the end of like the register, someone had to carry it down to the office.
Yeah.
And like,
they don't have to do that now, I bet.
And like, if you were late, you had to like sign in at reception because otherwise no one would know you were there.
Yeah.
And
it's this big red folder thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
I never got chosen for that either. Like, I was the best student, and they never chose me for anything good. They're like, you know what? He does his job well enough. We'll leave him. He don't need any rewards. He don't need a shiny Mars bar. He don't need to carry the register.
I feel like Alan's like repressed these memories.
I remember so much of primary school though, where like I've got all these memories where I was like doing filing in the reception office and like helping out with like putting books away and like helping out in reception and I'm like, was I a student or a teacher? Like I feel like they took the really good kids, the really organized, intelligent kids, and they were like,
you could
slave labor.
Yeah. They'll work for nothing, they will.
I can pawn my work off on these guys and they might do it right.
Right, going back to like to when you mentioned the interactive whiteboards, I swear that I don't think my primary school had them when we were there. So like when we went to high school, it was like a massive thing. It's like, oh my god, they've got interactive whiteboards here. That's incredible. They've got a bell. They've got everything.
It's not just a head teacher running around.
So I went on crutches during primary school. And for some reason, they wouldn't let me go in. They were like, no, it's a hazard. You can't come in. So I had to miss like 6 weeks of school. And then I went in and they were like, well, you can come in, but you like, because you've still not fully healed, like you can't go out at playtime. So she would just let me and my friends play with the interactive whiteboard because it was so new. It was like this novelty. Like draw on it and play games on it, and it was like.
Right. We had when I was like year 1, my reception area, there was a little playhouse that we could go in. It had a kitchen, a bedroom. I was allowed in once. I had my one time, and I wanted to keep going in because it's like. Well, it's like not school.
Yeah.
And they let me on the computer as well because we had a computer. Like when I say computer, I mean you couldn't lift it up unless you got like 5 men to come down and pick it up for you. It was huge, and like obviously big, massive screen. Well, the screen was like this big, but the whole build of it was huge. And I don't know what the game was, but it was like you were a fish, and you had to do puzzles as a fish.
Was it like a point and click kind of thing?
Yeah.
Freddy Fish?
Nah. It's not.
Was it not Freddy Fish?
I don't know. I'm going to look now.
I've got it on Steam if it's Freddy Fish.
So
it's Freddy Fish.
Yeah. I've got it on Steam.
We had these 2 rooms. One was called like, I'm sure that it was called the Rainbow Room or something.
That sounds
cool. And I think the other one was just called like the Smart Room or something. It was just a bit shit. It was like, why is one called the Rainbow Room and the other one's got such a shit name? But like, it was where we would go if it was like raining outside and it was just crap. And they would wheel one of those big TVs in and we would watch like The Bug's Life or like Free Willy or some other equally amazing film. But like, just looking back, I'm like, how different was our life? Like, I wonder what they get now instead. Like,
yeah,
are those rooms just are those rooms just full of computers?
Welcome to
Like-
the room sponsored by Amazon.
Like, if it rains, do they just go in and play on the computer?
They probably all
Oh,
just have their
my
iPads, don't they?
We had a computer room. That was like fun. Like the once a week we could go down there. There was also the library, which was in the basement. Like half the room was computers, like the rest of the room was the library. And I felt bad for the one woman that had to sit in the basement all day because she was the librarian. But you weren't allowed in there unless you were going in for class, which was upsetting.
Yeah, we had a computer room. We had a tiny library, which was attached to the year 6 classroom. And then we had a computer room, which had a lock on. And again, yeah, you weren't allowed in unless it was for a class. And during my time there, the computers got replaced to like thinner screened computers. Like not the really fancy ones, but they were thinner than the big fat ones. Yeah. But like, and they had like a handyman who was just about a tech man as well. Who, if there was a problem with the computers, it'd be like, we're gonna get him to come and sort it, and inevitably he would come and he would have no idea what he was doing.
Did anyone?
And they used that room for clubs as well. I was in like the French club, and like we would go in there for like French club, and like
that's where I played violin.
What?
I played violin in primary school.
That was so rude. You were just
like
I played violin.
I played violin. Fuck your friend.
I'm like talking, and like, how rude are you? Like, go on then.
No, it's okay. Sorry, I didn't. Go on, talk about France.
That's all they had to say anyway. Just I played violin.
Played violin in a library. That's all I needed to say.
Yeah, so like all our clubs were in there, and I had like French club, but it was like really weird because like in the middle of one of our French club meetings, it was like basically someone, like a teacher came up, and someone got some like really bad news in the middle of French club, and she came in like crying her eyes out, and it was like we were all kids, and it was just the most uncomfortable situation ever. Like you have no idea what's going on, and like you're just a bit like, why is this person crying and why is she leaving, and I don't understand.
Did you ever
what's
find
happening. Oh yeah, I know, but obviously I'm not gonna say.
No.
But yeah, it was just a bit weird. Like it. And oh my god, on that note though, like, do you not think it was weird how in primary school they would literally walk in and be like, oh, this person's mum is here to take them to a doctor's appointment.
Straight up like, yo, come.
Like, this person has an ear infection. This person has this. Like,
did you ever have
those
kids
telling everyone
that like they'd have the whole of like summer and winter to go on holiday, but they always chose like the first 2 weeks of September? It's like, nah, we're going on holiday here, and it's like, where's Tom? He's on holiday in fucking Barbados. Like, why?
Yeah.
It was more like Pontins than Barbados, to be honest. But like, could you not take your kid on holiday at some other point?
I think it's just because that's the cheapest time of the year once school, like the first couple of weeks of school starting.
I think it's illegal now.
Good. But like with school as well, it came up to a point where when I was in year 6, they wanted us to redesign the playgrounds for like, but like, you know what, the one that you use, the big one at the bottom, we're not going to touch that because that's fine. It's like, nah, it's not fine. I want new stuff. It wasn't going to affect me anyway. So we ended up going around designing. We had like a rock climbing wall in there, and we put all this stuff in. Like, yeah, we'll do it. And then I came back like, because my sister went to the same primary school. I went with mum to go like pick her up, and they put it all in. We had like huge pencils, like climbing frames, rock walls. I'm like, why didn't I get to play on this? Why not? Where was mine? And then they put an allotment in as well. Like, so then like the year, like reception up to year 4 could go and grow potatoes.
That's really random.
It is.
Did you guys have it where, like, if your writing got to like being like a certain amount of neatness, you were allowed to use a pen,
Yeah.
and they gave you special pens, and you were like, you'd see all these peasants with their pencils, and you're just like, meh, I've got a pen.
Yeah.
Well, we only got given fountain pens, and the problem is I'm left-handed, so I'd write with this fountain pen, and then as it went along, you just have this smudge. So I had to try and write like that the whole way across.
Oh, did you not get yours revoked for that?
Yeah, no, I did multiple times.
Yeah.
And then I got pulled in. I got pulled into the headmaster's office going, your handwriting is really poor. It's like a spider walked on ink and walked across the page. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess. But
I just remember, like, just like the feeling of superiority when you have a pen and then you end up going back to pencils because your handwriting becomes shit because you're using a pen, it's just smudging everywhere.
Yeah.
Then you get to high school and it's just like pens are natural, pens are normal.
Yeah, you had to join your handwriting up as well in a big
Oh,
practice.
God.
Nice to you. It's like everyone's got to do this. It's like you won't get your marks if you don't do it in high school. And you get to high school, please don't join your handwriting up. We cannot read it.
So, in like I think it was like year 5 or something. They took like a big group of us out during maths and dumped us in the year 6 classroom, and they were like around one table, and they were like, right, you lot are clever, so we're leaving it you in here on your own to do the work so that we can teach them lot.
Wow.
Because they need it. And I was like, but okay. And like it was like this segregation thing started happening. Like they started just abandoning anyone who was doing well in a separate classroom to teach everyone else, and as a result our performance started suffering. And we were like,
What do we do?
okay, we feel like this is mildly unfair. You're no longer teaching us because we were doing well. And then like at the end of year 6 they started bringing us back for a focus group after school because our performance was suffering and they wanted us to do well in our exams.
I remember those exams.
It's like, what?
I like the way, so I'm kind of like, that sounds so weird what Sally's just said. I'm like, wait, does it sound weird because our school didn't do it or because I was just one of the thick ones?
You were the thick one, Jacob, with 2 C's.
2 C's.
Like, so when it came to the SATs, because I think it was like, what was it, like 1 to 5 or something? Like 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest kind of thing.
Don't
It
remember.
went up to 6.
Either way, whichever the highest was, our headmaster came into the class and went, for every top mark you get, 6 or 5, I'll give you £10. And it was like
balling.
yeah. So and Mum turned around and went, for every top mark you get, I'll give you £20. So I walked away because there was 3, weren't there? There was English, Maths, and Science. So I ended up walking away with like 90 quid at the end of year 6. I was loaded, absolutely balling.
Did the headmaster say that for every kid?
Yeah, for everyone. He came into the class.
He must have been poor afterwards.
Oh no, he
Jesus.
didn't have faith in us. That was the thing.
Does that you were the only one? He's
No,
like,
no. Me and another girl got like full marks in top marks in everything, not full. And then like other people in my class, I think everyone got at least 1 top mark. So.
See, I don't remember sitting my SATs, and I don't know whether I just didn't sit them or not. And I can't remember.
I did really well in my
I
SATs,
did.
definitely.
I remember if you took me back to primary school, I'd be able to show you where I was sat as well.
To be fair, yeah. I pissed about with my SATs as well. Me and my friends had a game, right, for our like writing ones. We made a list of words and we were like, right, we've all got to put all of these words into our writing exam. and like whoever gets the most in wins the competition. And it was like really random fucking words. It was stuff like monkey and lemon and like just, and we had rusty nail as well. And like we had like a list of about 30, 40 words, and we were like, right, yeah, we're gonna try and like put all of these in our like creative writing one. And we were like, Bants, funny.
I can just imagine the
I
amount
guess
of
reading it's like-
metaphors.
The lemon-flavored monkey ate a rusty net. What the fuck was this child on?
And I'm just imagining like just doing a metaphor for everything. So you write a sentence and you're like, yes, it was withered like a rusty nail.
Sour like a lemon monkey.
Oh, we really took the piss. I don't know. Do you know what though? I did it again in my creative writing piece at Lostock, and I can't remember who I did it with.
Mental.
But there was definitely 2 or 3 of us, and we made a list for that as well. And and that was GCSEs, and I just don't take it seriously.
Did you
I'm
ever
like,
play
fucking
bogeys
funny.
Oh, who didn't play bogeys?
in school,
Who didn't play bogeys in school?
class,
Yeah, class.
to the point where you were actually screaming it?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
good.
Oh, and like passing notes to your friends until someone always got caught with it. Like, and it was never you. It was
No.
never the person who started it. It was always some dickhead along the way.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like, pass this to James.
Yeah, everyone's just passing it subtly, and then one person just goes like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
James,
Oh
I've got
my
a
God.
note for you.
An opposite day, and
Oh,
you would just
no.
wind someone up to
Oh.
like, oh my God, you would have someone actually crying
Mm.
because you'd upset them so much. Being
That
like,
would usually
yeah,
be me.
Opposite day.
But you
I would
crying.
usually be the one crying.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's opposite day. No,
man.
it's not. Exactly.
Oh man.
Ah.
No, the best thing about primary school, and I'm so sad that it's gone now, was Camelot.
Oh, yes. 100% yes.
I'm unfortunately not part of this.
Well, we'll take you one day.
That'd be really fun now, wouldn't it?
You know what? I reckon it would be quite good. Not as
I
fun
mean,
as
it's
what it
not
was.
there.
Well-
It's not there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's-
saying. It won't be as fun because it's not there.
No,
yeah,
like, there's still some stuff there.
no, it's not
Have they
there.
got rid of it completely now?
It's been torn down.
Oh. Well, we can take you to an empty field, Jacob, and like this.
Yeah, that's
This
literally
here
what I
used to
meant.
be a
Sally
big
says it's
dragon.
not there. Alan's like,
Really?
"Look," and Sally's like, it's not there. Alan's like, it, and I'm like, it's not there.
I just want to go see the dragon.
No, they've torn it down. It's just a flat expanse of land.
We'll
Yeah, I
remake
never
it.
went.
You missed out.
Yeah.
Everyone
think-
who didn't go missed out.
I think our school did. I missed a lot of year 6, which is why I'm not sure if I sat my sats.
We went every year.
I loved it. Best part.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, no, I missed like end of year 5, start of year 6, and quite a bit more. So I don't know. I might have taken my sats.
I'm going to think you probably did because I think you needed them to get into high school.
No, I think
Unless you went to one of them
Because-
special schools.
no. So our primary school was linked to our high school.
Oh, okay.
So I think I got into the high school, and then to determine what classes I'd be in, I took exams at the start of high school instead,
Right.
if I remember correctly. But yeah, because mine was literally like it was automatic. You'd like unless you chose otherwise, you were automatically going to that high school.
Is there anything else we can think of that we want to talk about with primary school?
The only thing I would say is like were you friends with anyone in primary school that you're still friends with now?
Yes, 3 people.
Nice.
And
I think I was like, I stayed friends with some of them into high school, and then a lot of that kicked off. There's some people, like, if I see them, like, I don't have bad feeling towards them. I'm just like, so. And there's others, like, we're not like friends, but like if I see them, we speak quite warmly. But I wouldn't say I'm like friends with anyone I went to primary school with.
I ditched all my friends from primary school within year 7 by Raheel because he was in the football team with me.
yeah, no, I've literally got, well, Jack Gore and Adam Gore, and like who were brothers. Well, I say were. They still are brothers.
No.
I'm still friends with both of them, and then Charlie, who I actually technically work with now. So
Yeah, to be fair, actually, like there's Ashley. I didn't really think about other year groups. There's Ashley, who was the year above me, but I didn't really consider her a school friend. She was my next door neighbour where I grew up.
yeah,
So we weren't really friends at school. Like we didn't hang out at school at all. But we're still friends, and obviously my stepsisters. Like I'm obviously friends with them, but again, we weren't friends at school.
yeah.
Like I didn't know them at school. They were in different years, and then obviously our parents got together and we know each other through them.
I think that's the same with Adam with me, because I only really know him because of Jack, and he was in a different year group, so I only really spoke to him outside of school, but he still went to the same school. So
yeah, so moving on then. So with regards to friends, obviously I moved on from primary school and kept some of the same friends because some of us went to the same high school. But then, yeah, that didn't last very long. Girls are twats, basically.
I mean, you said it, not us.
I'm going to disagree.
So are guys, but like no, yeah, teen girls, yeah, not the nicest people. Obviously doesn't go for all teen girls, but if they latch onto something, they can be awful. And I didn't have the best high school experience to begin with because of my so-called friends. Not just the ones that I moved up from primary school with, like, but some that I then made. Like, you know, I'm not going to blame it on them. They were more followers than they were instigators. But, you know, is that any better, really? So, yeah, that's where my original friends dropped off. Am I friends with anyone from my original high school? No. No, I left because of horrific bullying. So, no. Am I friends with anyone from my second high school? Yes. Him.
I wasn't sure if he was the second one. I thought it might be the third.
And to be fair, quite a few people. I'm still friends with Liam. Still friends with. Trying
Kev.
to think. Well, yeah, obviously Kev, Jack, Charlie. Like we don't talk much, but when I do see him, we're good. Trying Chelsea again, like we don't really talk, but if I saw her, we'd be fine. Like pretty much anyone that I was good with in high school, I'm still good with. Like at the high school, I was good friends with people at. So, so yeah, I feel like I actually do still have quite a lot of friends that I had in high school.
Yeah, all my primary school friends just kind of faded away when I became a massive mosher and started hanging out with that group and like playing football and stuff. I don't talk to any of them now. Like, pretty much stopped at college. Like, bar like the 2 or 3 that came to the same college as me. But yeah, I don't speak to any of them. Like, I had a big friendship group as well. Like, they used to put like tables together, like that set like 10 people. We'd fill up 2 of them and just be talking across the lot. So there's easily a good 20 of us within this friendship group, and like we're all pretty closely knit as well, considering how many there were. Everyone like liked each other, and we'd all like hang out outside of school and stuff like that, like little rebels and stuff. Go to the park, play hide and seek, and no one would ever find me. But it was a good time.
Sorry, my first thought then was just right. Alan's hidden. We found everyone else. Let's just go.
Let's just go. We're gone. No, but yeah. So yeah, I don't talk to them, but they're all nice people. I have no like bad blood with any of them.
We had like a whole corner. Like you would walk into school, and pretty much from one end of the maths block to the other was like our place.
The mosher zone.
That's where you would find all the moshers and emos. That's where we would all be. And then like all the sort of indie/emo kids were at the other end of the like quad area, sort of by where like geography and stuff were, and that's where like Liam was. So sometimes I'd be over there, but like most of the time I was down by the maths block. I just occasionally went wandering to speak to Liam. But like yeah, we definitely had some good times, I'm not gonna lie. Like obviously I had a relationship. Well, our relationship would be an understatement of the year. I had a multitude of relationships, and some of them were within that school. But obviously I had my big relationship that started in that school, which was great at the time. Everyone like proper shipped us and stuff, and then it turned out to why not be so great.
You okay?
I don't want to do this, but
Oh, what did you knock on it? Sorry, what did Kobe knock on it?
Coke.
It's the new one as well. Is it waterproof? Waterproof.
It's gone like right down between the fucking cover.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the phone's waterproof. It'll just gonna make it sticky.
But yeah, so like I had that as well, and that obviously continued after school for a significant amount of time, but not anymore.
I should hope not.
I've got him locked in my basement.
Hold on, what basement?
I
don't know about Jacob. Help.
Yeah, so on the topic of friends, let's talk about all those things you did during high school that let's go on the topic of things that you shouldn't have been doing.
Oh, the list. One second, let me scroll down.
Just to be clear, no, I did not have sex with the teacher. That was a different student.
Yeah, I think we had a few of those. But we'll come back onto scandals.
Yeah. So in high school, I would smoke in the playground because, utter rebel. I think there's actually a picture on Facebook somewhere of us in year 11 where someone is actually just rolling a cigarette partway through the photo. So if you wanted evidence to lock me away for being a bad boy, there it is.
Because I'm knocking the door. We're the bad boy police.
Bad boys too. I once got high in high school because I thought that's what you were meant to do.
Once.
Only once, because then I realised shit is actually a really bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't. And I also got drunk in high school twice.
Yeah, so I started drinking in high school. If you actually follow the band, you'll know that I'm a recovering alcoholic, so that was not a good idea. That all started when I was about 12. Yeah, I took alcohol into school like pretty much every day. Don't do that. If you're in high school, don't do that.
Do your
Please.
education.
Yeah, like, I know it sounds like fun, but my life went like downhill pretty fast. So get educated, don't get drunk. In other news though, the parties were hilarious. Camping.
That's the point.
Camping was sick. Like, some of the parties I could have done without, not gonna lie. Like, I did some stupid shit at those parties that I wish I could take back, but I didn't know when to stop with the drink. But the camping, I would still run those campouts now. Like,
I
if
hate
I
my experience of camping.
Well, like, we did these campouts and we would literally just get anyone who wanted to come together, and we would like go to this spot we had, and like people would bring alcohol, or like some people didn't, and we would just make a fire and we would all chill and we would all look out for each other. And like, yes, we shouldn't have been doing it, but it was like such a vibey time, and like, I would still do that now, minus the alcohol.
Like, my experience of camping was overall okay, because at the time I was in a relationship with someone and I was drunk. Just to be clear, this is going to sound bad, like the way I've started, but I didn't actually do anything with anybody. I was on the floor because I was giggling my tits off at something. This girl climbs on top of me and says she won't get off unless she gets a kiss. And I'm like, but I've got a girlfriend. Like, please move. I really need to pee. You're like pressing on my bladder. Fuck off. Either way, she got a kiss on the cheek and I went to pee. And then next thing I remember is I passed out. To then wake up to one of my mates from high school getting jacked off by somebody in the tent I was passed out in. So it wasn't really the nicest experience. I was like, yeah.
Just the escalation on that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I kissed
morning
her on the
after was
cheek
funny
and I
though.
woke up.
I was once at a camp out. Sorry, I need to tell this story because it's really funny. I was once at a camp out and I was kissing this girl who I was friends with, and some guy was drunk and came running up and was like, "Guys, girls are kissing," because, you know, it's high school and guys are like that. And Ollie came running and was like, "Where?" And then it was his sister, and he was like, "Oh." Yeah.
I think I didn't have like many parties and stuff in school. I was going to say, when you were talking about the campouts and that anyone who wanted to come would come, apart from me, because I think that was around the time when you were purposely making sure I didn't come to
inviting
things.
you to everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so anyone could come who wanted to, unless they were me,
unless they were
specifically me. Yeah. And then there was like a couple of parties towards the end of school that I went to after we'd made up.
Yeah.
Made up. You got to the point of like, okay, he can come, but I'm not going to speak to him.
One of my favourite parties was while I was in high school, and I met some friends from outside of school and started seeing this girl from a different school. So obviously everyone said she was not real because she went to a different school.
Yeah.
We're at a party of I'd met some friends through her, and like we're at his house, and it turns out his mum was one of her teachers. So we're drunk in this house, and this woman comes in pissed off her face, recognizes my girlfriend, and goes, "Don't I teach you?" I don't mind. You having a good night? Completely forgets it, and then I've never heard her. She's like, "Yeah, I teach at this high school," and Lewis, whose house it was, starts going, "No, Mum, please stop! You're embarrassing me." And she's like, "I can be embarrassing. Don't you know I'm shaven?" Lies on her back, spreads her legs open, and goes, "Shaving Avon, baby. Don't fuck with the boldies." I'm like, okay.
What?
She's like, "I've got a stripper pole upstairs if you want me to get it down." I'm like, yeah, sound. I'd have a teacher strip for me. She was awesome.
Oh,
She was
God.
the coolest teacher / mum that I never had.
Oh, there was. I remember this kind. I feel like this puts the two topics together. But it was. I think we'll come back to prom in a little bit. But just remind me of something at prom where one of the teachers who he just wanted to be the coolest teacher, so he just went to like no one was allowed to drink. Like I think most proms you were given like half a pint of like some sort of like beer or something or wine. But I'm pretty sure didn't they change it for ours? And made it so you could only have non-alcoholic drinks.
We smuggled in vodka and weed.
Oh yeah, we did.
We were fine.
But then there was one teacher who was like, "No, screw this! I'm going to be the cool one," and just went to the bar for everyone and just bought us all booze. They were just forever cemented as the best, the number one.
OG. I swear one of the teachers came around whilst we were having a joint and just chatted with us while we were smoking it. And obviously, it's not like it doesn't have a smell.
Oh my! I've just had a memory. So I've just remembered something that I'd completely forgotten. The head teacher came to us, or like walked past us. We were smoking some weed, and we were like, "Oh shit!" And he was like, "No, it's fine. Don't let me interrupt you." Pulls out a cigar, lights it, and then goes, "Do you want one?" And just we ended up, and I think it was me, Charlie, and the headmaster sat on, if I remember rightly, I think we were sat on like lawn chairs, just smoking cigars. That's such a bizarre thing that I'd completely forgotten about until now.
Nice.
Prom was cool.
I feel like it was, but I feel like I just wasn't up for it because of like having to have an operation a few days later. Like,
yeah,
I very nearly didn't go because like they wanted to do it before prom, and then I was like adamant that I wanted to go, so they like scheduled it for just after, and I was like, and like I was determined to go all emo, and I had my little emo dress and like whatever, but then I went and like I don't know, I feel like I had a good time, but at the same time it just really wasn't my scene at all. And
yeah,
I remember thinking on the night that I wished I hadn't bothered. And I was just like, what else? Like,
I remember the build up to prom being quite nice. Cause that's the point. We should probably say me and Sally went to prom together.
oh yeah, we did. Well, we went in a group, didn't we? Me and you went together, and then
shut down.
Kyle.
So
Kyle and Sam.
Yeah, because we all had like partners from different schools, so we'll go as friends.
That's not true. My partner was from the same school, but he was in a younger year.
Yeah, we all had partners that weren't at prom then.
Yeah,
is what I meant. Yeah, but yeah, because I remember when we were at yours before we went, and then we were just expected to be taken in just I think, was it just your stepdad's car we were supposed to be taking in at first? And all of a sudden, like, they just turn up with a really fancy car.
Yeah. Yeah, because someone's friend or something, I don't remember, but I was just like, sound, whatevs.
A group of girls that went together for at my prom turned up in an ice cream truck, and it was the best thing ever.
That would have been sick.
It was awesome.
Sick.
I went in a fancy car because my uncle has a really nice car, so I went in that, and I'm like, yeah, I've probably done the best here. Got a really nice car, ice cream truck, and I'm like, fuck off. Please.
If I could have had my choice of cars at the time, I would have gone in a hearse.
Fair. Just slide the coffin out of the back and out. You're like, hi guys.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine me in my emo
Everyone.
get up showing up in a hearse? Like it would have been exactly what everyone expected.
Yeah.
Like
I remember Charlie turning up in, like, he was on the back of a really old-fashioned pickup truck. And he just turned up on the back, just jumped off, and yeah, that's an entrance. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure there were people turning up in like horse-drawn carriages and shit like that as well.
yeah.
I feel like that's like the highlight for a lot of people.
Yeah.
What am I turning
feel
up to
like-
prom in?
I feel like the dress and turning up and like choosing all of that has more draw than the actual prom for prom.
Yeah.
Because then the music and the food and stuff is just a bit.
Wait, we had the cha-cha slide, right? Top.
I don't actually remember anything
That's
about the
all I
actual
remember.
prom inside.
That's all I remember. There was a cha-cha slide and people.
I remember. I think there was a lot of just like people, like teachers roasting each other
Yeah.
because they were all very drunk from what I remember.
Yeah.
I think that yeah, like I can't remember anything from actually inside prom. It's all just things that happened around it. And, like I remember because I was one of the only people not invited to the big party after prom.
I wasn't invited either.
Yeah, that's why I said one of the ones, because it was like the popular people party.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how, somehow by the end of the night I'd been invited.
Same.
So
But then I couldn't go because I needed to go home and get ready for stuff.
well, mine was because I wasn't expecting to go to a party or anything afterwards, so I didn't like they were all like, everyone had brought alcohol and stuff like that, and I was kind of like, I mean, I'll go to the party, but I don't know what I'm doing.
We got pissed in a park. It was awesome. Don't do it.
I think
It's illegal. But it was so
we
cool.
went to someone's house from what I can remember, but I don't know whose or where. It's all a blur. It's very...
It was good.
So, seeing as we were talking about drunken teachers, shall we talk about the scandals that went down at our
Yes.
schools? Every
Oh.
school has them. The big scandals.
So
I think-
as I alluded to earlier, one of the students got pregnant with a teacher's kid. He taught woodworking, which I thought was wonderful.
What is it with woodwork teachers?
But yeah, so basically, he married somebody who'd emigrated from China. Her daughter, Ching Ching, became friends with this other girl. And it's such a good name. She was a cash register. No, she was cool. One of her friends, who I'm not going to name because it was this person, they became really close. And obviously, she became close with her stepdad, who happened to teach woodworking. So
Got lots of
that's my first
lots of
one.
extracurricular teaching with that.
Okay, well, we definitely had one, like every school has one of them, like a teacher and a student story. Like I came to Lostock too late to actually like be around for that, but I know there was one.
Yeah, there was the music teaching assistant who
Yeah.
was sleeping with. I'm pretty sure it wasn't just one. I'm pretty sure it was like multiple girls, multiple
Yeah.
like school girls in the music room, and he got walked in on by the music teacher.
Damn.
Yeah, so he got sacked for that.
Yeah.
There was also our woodworking teacher who it didn't happen while we were at school, but found out a few years down the line that they've been arrested for grooming children. So yeah, it's always the woodworking teachers apparently.
Yeah.
Always. Like, other than that, we had 2 teachers get married, like to each other, not like separately.
That's not that scandalous.
No, but it wasn't an exciting school. Other than
See, ours was like really bad. Like, I mean, we had a pregnant student, which isn't like massively scandalous, but like it's the fact that everyone was convinced she was going to pop it out during an exam. Like, the whole year was convinced that we were going to get all our grades put to like A's because she was going to give birth during the exam. So like, I don't know why, but you know, high school students are just something else with rumors, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this thing just went round. They were all like, yeah, if she gives birth during the exam, do you know we all get an instant A? And then it just became a thing. She was actually really nice though. Like, everyone always thought she was like really like
promiscuous.
stuck up.
Oh.
And like chavvy. But she was always really nice to me. Like, I sat near her in, I think it was science. And she always had a proper good chat with me. And I was like, and like when I found out she was pregnant, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm happy for you. Because like, you never really know what to say. So like,
yeah.
I'm happy for you. Like, I hope it's a good thing. Because like, if it was me, it wouldn't matter when it was. Like, obviously at that age I would have been scared, but I still would have been like, you know, it's a baby. And then we had the history teacher who was faking grades. Like,
that's not the thing I've got for her, but
like writing papers for people and like editing their papers. And she was like with the head teacher, so it was all a bit like dodgy.
Yeah, I've got a scandal for the same teacher. It's just not the same scandal.
Okay, well, go on then.
She often like just straight up like hurt students physically and got away with it because, as you said, she was with the teacher. I'm pretty sure we're talking about the same teacher anyway.
Yeah, I know we are because she was so aggressive.
And well, I remember it's like at the beginning of school, so I don't think you would have been there for that, but you probably heard about it, was when we were getting taught about World War One, and she thought, right, best way to teach about World War One, everyone get under your desk, starts lobbing pencils across the room, and just.
Were you in my history class?
No, I got dropped a set, I think, because I think you were top set, weren't you?
Yeah, so on my very first day, I was in her class. I had no idea where I was going. And I knocked on the door and walked in, and she screamed at me in front of the whole class. And she was like, how dare you walk into my class? Get out now. I don't want to see your face. And I walked straight back out, and I was like sobbing in the corridors. I was like, I just moved to this school because I'm being bullied. And like, it's literally my first day. And I have no idea where I'm going. And you've just literally like verbally assaulted me.
Yeah.
Because I'm late and like I didn't know where to go. And she came out and basically tried to convince me that it wasn't her that I was upset at. Like, I'm not even joking. She stood there for 5 minutes and kept trying to tell me that it wasn't her that upset me.
I mean, it kind of was, though.
She was like, no, there's something else going on here. I can tell. And I was like...
At least I know it wasn't me who had the same first lesson with her, because I did exactly the same thing. I walked into a class like late because I couldn't find it, because it was like her classroom was like the third floor in one of the buildings, right in
Yeah.
one of the corners. So it was
Yeah.
actually difficult to find. And I did the same thing. I walked in, she screams at me, tells me to get out. So I go outside. I stand outside the classroom and I'm waiting for her to come out and, have a go at me and whatnot. And I can apologize and everything. I wait the entire lesson. Nothing happens. Everyone leaves the classroom after the lesson. She walks out the classroom, starts screaming at me for not coming back in. It was like, you told me to get out. What do you expect?
No, yeah, she was awful. So I'm kind of glad she got fired, and I hope she can never work with children again.
Yeah.
Like, ever. But yeah, and then the only other scandal I can think of is that obviously somebody we knew,
Is this going to be the one I've got?
possibly not. I don't think so, because I don't think you'll remember this. Somebody we knew had some nudes of somebody
No, it's not.
and uploaded them to a jailbait site.
Oh.
And the police got involved, and it was like very sketchy about whether he was going to end up like getting in serious trouble for it, which he would have like genuinely well deserved.
Yeah.
Like, he told me about it at the time, and he fully like expected me to be on his side, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, because this girl was like 13.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, and I think you all know who I'm talking about. Like, not the girl necessarily, but
I think that I've ruled it down to a list like a few suspects. I feel like you should tell me after we're done recording.
So yeah, he got in a lot of trouble, and eventually they didn't press charges because he apologized and stuff, and it obviously got removed. So whatever. But for a while, that was very kind of blown up in his year, because she was quite scandalous in her year because she was sending nudes to everyone and stuff. But the whole thing was just like,
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple of other scandals. Well, one's not really a scandal. It's just something really funny that happened. Well, I say funny. It's still quite bad. But so one of the scandals was one of the students in our year got caught having a wank in Spanish class.
I forgot about him. I forgot about him.
Like, fully got caught having a wank in Spanish class over the teacher. Because I think he admitted it afterwards that it was over the teacher.
Yeah, he did.
Fuck. Yeah, home.
That was actually one that I'd completely forgotten about until we were already recording, and then I added it to my list.
Yeah.
In fact, oh wait, no, it's not even on my list. I was just like, no, I need to say that.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and then there's also, I don't think you'll know about this one because I'm pretty sure it was the very first day of year 7. One of the kids in my year, we were in French class. No, I wasn't in the same class as him, sorry. But he was in French class, and he got in an argument with the French teacher and threw a chair at her. Like, just threw a chair across the room at her, got expelled, day 1, gone.
Nice.
So, and then there's kind of it's not a scandal, it's just something involving me, which I feel like I should bring up at this point, because I don't know if it'd fit later on. But so there was, basically, when I was probably at year 8, year 9, I lost my jacket. I was like, it just nice and calm. Oh, I don't know where my jacket is. A few months later, I'm climbing on the roof. I don't know why I was climbing on the roof, but I climbed on the roof of the school and I found my jacket. Turns out everyone knew where it was because someone had pissed on it and thrown it on the roof. And they just let me go months without knowing this until I decided one day to climb up on the roof. I think, oh no, I saw it without going on the roof because I was on Kyle's shoulders. Kyle was one of the kids in our year who was just freakishly tall for his age.
Yeah, Kyle was like.
Yeah,
and
I
not
used to just
to
ride his
me.
shoulders everywhere. So I was riding his shoulders and I could see on the roof, and I saw the jacket, and that's when it happened. Like that's when everyone was like, "Oh yeah, someone pissed on it. They're on the roof a few months ago."
But my Pokemon.
It was an awful jacket. I don't know why I liked it, so I'm glad. I'm kind of glad in the end.
Let's talk about times that we got in trouble, and whether that was just odd times we remember getting in trouble, or times we were like suspended or put in isolation or got detention. Or come on, I want to hear all your violations of the rules.
I
I'll go on then.
got sent to isolation for doing my work.
Bad boy.
I did my work. He didn't believe me. I showed him around 100 and odd pages worth of like my documentation, and he's like, "No, you've not done it. Go to isolation." So I walked down to isolation with all my. This was IT as well, so like, I couldn't really do anything in isolation. My head of years there, and he's like, "The fuck are you doing here? Like, this isn't like you." Like, I did my work, and he said I didn't, and he's like, "Show me," and I just. And it's like, okay, I'm not reading that. I'm just going to take your word for it that you've done your work.
So did you not spend long in it then?
No, I spent the rest of the lesson there. It's like, well, I can't send you back, so.
I had to do a day of isolation, and I'm pretty sure I had like a few days suspension as well. That was basically the kid who bullied me for like 3 years in high school and multiple other years in primary school. I just got to a point where I said, "Screw it," and I smacked him, and then I grabbed him by the neck and just pushed him up against one of the, I think it was the science block or something like that, and just kept hitting him until teachers came in and separated us. And we both got, like, I think it was like 2 days suspension and isolation for a day. Which, to be fair, that was the first time I ever actually got punished for bullying me, so it worked.
Yeah.
I think that was the only thing I really ever got in trouble for.
Okay. I got bollocked for dress code all the time. Like, it was constantly, you need to take your piercing out, you need to take your piercing out. Give me that piercing. Give me that piercing. Give me that thing out of your ear. Take your piercing out. Get that out of your ear. Take your piercing out. Sally, take your piercing out. Sally, I can still see that piercing. And then, like, I got bollocked one day for drawing all up my arm. And she was like, "That's not clever. Go and, like, wipe all that off." And I was like, "Okay," and just pulled my sleeve down. I used to get done for my hair all the time. They'd be like, "That's red," so I'd dye it darker red, and they'd be like, "That's still red," and I'd be like, "Yes, but compromise." And they didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. So then I dyed it black, and they were like, "That's still not a natural color." And I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do about it now?" Like, it's a bit fucking late, isn't it? You didn't want it pink. You didn't want it red. You didn't want it darker red. Now it's black, and there's no going back. So.
It's true what they say. Once you go black, you can never go back.
I got my ex in a load of trouble because the head of year saw us hug, said that we were kissing. We weren't, so he told her to fuck off. And then she put him in isolation all day. And it was in the building that I had my lessons in all day. So I kept going out of lesson to go to the toilet and actually kissing him. Because I was like, I feel like this maybe makes up for it. I once got dragged out of lesson because I'd been holding hands with Kyle a lot after that incident. And the head of year and head teacher basically called me a slut. And they were like, and I was like,
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, he's my best friend. And they were like, well, I don't hold hands with my best friend. Like, what do you want to be seen as? And like, you're coming across as a bit of a slut, don't you think? It was so inappropriate. Alan's looking at me now like, what? I know.
Was
Yeah, it was so inappropriate.
Was it after that me and Kyle did it for like, it was like an
Yeah,
entire day
yeah,
or 2
you,
days?
you and Kyle went everywhere holding hands. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I made a point of holding hands with everyone because I used to hold hands with Amy as well, and like I held hands with everyone. Like it was a comfort thing. I just held hands with everyone that I was close to, and like they didn't like it. They didn't like me showing affection. So I got in trouble for all sorts of stuff. I got detention quite a lot. I got in so much trouble with my mum once because I had detention and I didn't tell her in advance. So then I lied to her about it. And then she found out. And oh my God, the fight that went down over that.
I got detention quite a few times, but the one time I remember is I was like playing with my ruler, you know, like twang, 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 and I thought this will work as like a catapult. Put a rubber on it, launched it, and hit the teacher in the back of the head. I got a few days detention for that. I shit myself. I was like, she won't know. Yeah.
I had lunchtime detention at my first high school a few times. I can't even remember what most of them were for. I remember what one of them was for. Basically, like, they rounded up our little emo group and they were like, there's something fishy going on because of a note they found from one of us about, like, self-harm or something. And I wasn't even involved. I was so annoyed. It was between like 2 or 3 of the other girls, and they'd been passing it in science class. But because they knew I was like best mates with one of them, I'd got dragged in as well. And I was like, why am I here? So I was like, I don't know anything. And they were like, And then I think we all got detention, but I definitely did. And I was like, this seems unfair, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think most of my detentions that I got were just for like homework. I remember once I managed to get out because I always got lunchtime detentions, and then the one time they tried to give me an after school detention, I was like, I can't. They're like, what do you mean you can't? Well, I pick up my nieces every day after school. I have to leave school and pick them up. I don't have a choice. I can't just leave them. They're like young girls, and they're like, fine, just do lunchtime tomorrow.
See, at that school, they never gave me lunch times. They always gave me after school, so I always got in shit for it with my mum. I
think most teachers knew that I picked up my nieces from because it was from the like primary school, like the attached primary school, basically. So they like probably knew, apart from the one teacher who tried and failed miserably.
I once, not detention, but I once got caught by my mum. Like in year 11. In year 11, we got to if we did PE, we'd get to go down to like the sports centre that was at the other end of town. It's basically if I walked another 5 minutes, I'd be home. And so if you did PE, you got to go to that like twice a week. And you won't be taken there. It's like, we'll see you there. We trust you to turn up. Did I turn up? I played badminton twice, went to the gym once, and then for the rest of the time, I'm like, I've got a girlfriend that goes to a different school. I could walk and meet her. So I'd wander the streets for a bit until she finished. Like, hang out with some friends and then go meet her. And because her school was up near my grandma's, obviously I had to basically go past my grandma's, and I'm walking down the street, and all I hear is, Alan! I'm like, get in! I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Mom. She was like, never do it again. I'm like, okay, I won't. Next week.
Oh, God. Yeah, I think I didn't get in much trouble apart from outside of not doing homework.
No,
To
I
be
didn't.
fair, in the grand scheme of things, I was a pretty good kid. Like any detentions I got, it was either for homework or like it was usually a misunderstanding or I was standing up for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really do anything wrong. Like, well, no, I did. I was an alcoholic, but they never caught me for that. Like, they could easily have caught me daily drinking in school, but no, that was never a problem. Like, my hair colour was, which is what's fucked up about our education system. Like, they don't notice a child who's completely going under, but they're like, you better get that metal out of your face.
Excuse me, your shoelaces don't match.
I
One
can't
of them is grey.
believe you've just hugged.
How dare you show somebody you care?
The fact I'd forgotten about the whole holding hands with Kyle thing, and then all I had in my head throughout the entire story was just me and Kyle skipping around school holding hands, and I was like, oh my god, I remember.
You literally were. You were like acting like fully camp.
Yeah.
You were like fully playing it up for me, and I really appreciate that you guys did that. You were like, you guys were so defensive of me in high school. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I feel like the one person who I wish I did still speak to from high school is Kyle.
Yeah, he contacted me a few times like over the years, but we've never really like properly reconnected. Obviously, because he was Andy's cousin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like I feel like in a weird way that kind of made us stop speaking.
Yeah.
Because obviously me and Kyle had kind of a connection. And me and Andy were quite serious, so I don't know. I kind of blacked off anyone who I'd been like long-term flirting with, I guess. But like I think me and Kyle just kind of grew apart. But like over the years we've reconnected a few times, but never like properly. But yeah, I think if I ever got in touch with him, I'd be down for that. Like, he's a nice guy, and he went through some shit in high school. Like, fuck me, man. Like, oh my god, do you remember the Death Note?
Oh my god.
Damn. Okay.
Oh no.
A girl in our year made a Death Note and wrote people's names in it who annoyed her or upset her. It went to the head. It was like a massive thing because like a lot of people didn't know what it was, obviously.
Yeah.
But then like some people explained it to them, and then someone got hold of it and saw like whose names were in it and stuff. And like, oh my god.
Is it bad that you say that and like the one thing that came to mind straight away was just like she still has my game that she never gave back.
Games on the Death Note, mate.
That and the telephone box, but
Oh yeah, she was the
awkward.
Oh.
That was so awkward. Why was she stood there?
You're gonna have to the telephone box. Like you can't just go telephone box. Why was she stood there?
No, so
me and Jacob had an intimate experience in a telephone box, and she decided to get in there with us and just stand there.
Really awkwardly. I'm glad you found a way to explain it. I was like, how to say it.
We were children, I would like to confirm. Me and Jacob no longer have intimate experiences in telephone boxes.
It's my
Yeah,
job.
just outside of them now.
We thought we were being grown
Romantic
up and clever.
in a see-through
Yeah, like it wasn't like a covered telephone box. It was a
No.
completely see-through telephone box.
We were 15. It was not a clever thing to do, but at the same time, YOLO.
It's funny looking back on it just for the fact that she just stood there the
That she
entire
was
time.
there, yeah. I wonder if she put us in a death note after that.
They
Possibly.
did not say hi.
Oh man. It's weird the things you just randomly remember when you're talking about something in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Still want my Final Fantasy VIII back though. I will never forget.
Give her a message, but yo, fam. Final
Just
Fantasy,
really precisely, you still have my disc 1 of Final Fantasy VIII. I can't play the game. Please give it back.
Why did she only have disc 1?
Hers broke, so I lent it to her.
That was your first.
She had all the other discs, and I lent it to her. And now I'm in the same situation. I only have discs 2, 3, and 4.
So while you weren't here briefly before, Jacob, me and Alan were talking about like the school shop. So,
Oh,
like,
Smiths.
how every school has like a shop,
Yeah.
and obviously we had the Chippy as well and KFC, but they kind of became like when you were a bit older.
Yeah, because they were like the further ones. Because like the shop, I remember the shop next to KFC was the one where we could easily get served.
But yeah,
I say we, I mean Charlie.
Smith's was just like that little corner one behind, and you went in there, and everyone had like their morning order. It was
Yeah.
what you got on the way to school, or like it was what you snuck out and got at lunchtime. And like, no, I miss that shop. Like, I used to buy my dinner there.
I remember going back to it like when I was in like college, and it was just completely changed, and I was fuming.
That's disappointing.
I know. But yeah, what was your shop like, Alan?
It was on the corner, so you had like our high school, a little like field with like football posts on it and a park, and then the shop, and it was run by like a lovely old couple. They also did newspapers, because it was like a news agent. It was great. Like you go in, you spend like 50p, you'd walk out with 60p and a drink. It was wonderful.
Why do I feel like that's every school shop as well?
Yeah.
I was saying to Sally earlier, like I once went in with a friend one morning, and he walks up and he goes to the guy behind the counter and goes, "Have my usual," and starts talking to me again. The guy kind of looks at me and goes, "Who are you? I don't know what you want." Turns out he wanted like 100 grams of millions or something like that, like Blue Millions. That's his usual.
Imagine trying to be cool and saying that, it just backfiring.
I was kind of something going, well.
I would never go into it and say, "Can I have the usual?" Like, there's been times where there'd been places I'd go to where I'd walk in and they go, "Do you want the usual?"
Yeah. Same,
I'd take that. I'd be like, yes. Yes, I do.
Or
when I worked at Mackey's, there used to be certain people who would walk in and I'd start making their order.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, I know who you are and I know what you want. Like, there used to be a band that came in the morning on their way to, like, I assume college or uni or something. And I'd be like, right, he gets a sausage and egg muffin meal with an orange juice. He gets a bacon and egg muffin meal with a hot chocolate, and he just gets 2 hash browns. And I'd like put it all together and wait for them to get to the till.
Just imagine the one day where they change it.
Oh yeah, the guy with the hash browns sometimes got 1 and sometimes got 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least that's just a plus and minus, though, I guess.
I told him multiple times that if he got them with his friend's meal, they would be cheaper.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I like to just do it myself." And I was like, "Okay."
You're the
independence. He's a big boy.
Oh.
I wonder what they're doing now. I wonder what their band sounds like.
Bad.
Anyway,
I doubt it's still going.
But like, yeah, and I used to go to the Chippy with like whoever I went with, and I'd like get some chips, and I'd use like a spiky chip as a fork, and they'd use a spiky chip as a fork, and we just eat chips in the field behind. And it was just a vibe, you know. And like we'd go to KFC in our like study periods when we were doing GCSEs, and go to the park behind, and like,
Oh, Toddy Park.
yeah. Somewhere, right? I don't know where it's gone, but somewhere I've got a video of you swinging round on this big thing, like in the air.
Probably.
I
That
don't know what it is. But
was that
it's
Toddy Park or Brig Park? Because there was, I'm pretty sure we did quite a
no,
lot in
it's
Brig
Tardy
Park as well.
It's the one behind KFC, and it's just like this thing that you dangle off.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's Jamie and you, or like
Probably.
I think it's Jamie. I think it's you and Jamie, and it's just you two pissing about, and then one of you starts laughing and is like, "I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. I shouldn't have done that after eating." And then like me and someone else, female, are laughing hysterically, and it's just like, I can't believe I've still got this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember that now. But yeah, moving on. So, did you guys like have any school trips or anything that you went on?
Yes.
in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go on any like big ones. I don't think I went on any with the school we went to that I can think of off the top of my head. But at the one before, I went to see Aladdin.
Nice.
I can't really remember why. I don't think there was any like reason for it, but I went to see Aladdin. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I don't think there were any with that school. Not for me. So
What about you, Ellen?
So I went to France twice. One of them, I remember we wanted to find Game, but it was like we were like year 7 or 8, so we didn't speak much French, and we couldn't work out where is Game, or if that Game is a company name and be the same in French as it would be in English. So we stopped this random Frenchman in the middle of the street in Lille, and it's like, "Excusez, where is Gam?" He's like, "Gam? Les Gam, les Gam," and he stared at us like we're idiots. And luckily, someone walked past with a game bag. And like, "Les Gam," and he's like, "Oh, Game, it's over there." Like, and we turn around, there's a big sign for Game. On top of that, we had something called activity days, where like it was over 2 days, and you choose like activities to do. Like you could either stay at the school, you could go to the cinema and watch movies, you could paintballing, laser quest, things like that. One of them was like I think it's called Battlefield Live. It's like an outdoor laser quest, and they had a Spartan rifle. I got a Spartan rifle.
Nice.
I was so happy. We played capture the flag and everything, and then I did laser tag indoors in Trafford Centre at one point, and they had one of those big claw machines that had like kilo size dairy milk, and it was like, £1 a go, can you win? And I looked at one, I'm like, that's gonna fall off. So I put £1 in, and I got a kilo of dairy milk that I then had to carry with me for the rest of the day because it was the first thing I did.
I think you got a kilo of dairy
I had
milk.
a kilo of dairy milk though. I think by the end of it, I'd shared it with like everybody that was there with us, and I still had half left.
Nice.
And I took it home, like, "Mum, I got dairy milk." Tea sorted.
Oh, your school sounds fun. I wish I had many like trips and stuff.
Yeah. But
It's
it
like-
was hard to get to though, because like with paintballing, they filled up instantly because it's paintballing. Like all the good
Yeah.
ones go, and like there's stuff like Pleasure Beach and stuff. And when it got to like the last couple of years, they're like,
You've got to come into school. If you don't do anything, you come into school. We're not taking a register, but you got to come in. Oh, you're not taking a register? I'm not fucking coming in then. So I just meet up with some mates, like, because it was like a dress down day as well. If you didn't like go on anything, so like, right, I'm off out. Bye. See you after school. Yeah. Go meet up with a mate. Go chill out for the day. Go home at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Do it again the day after.
Yeah, I wish I got to do that. Like, I went on a couple of trips. You have reminded me. I did go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach for school, and there is pictures of that. I also went on the France trip in school as well.
You might have been the school that we saw one year, like walking down the street in a big line.
Possibly.
Like we were taking piss, like they're going to go to the shop and get frog's legs.
It could have been. I think it was
like
year 9
spots.
that we went.
I don't remember. We went a few times.
No, I went Paris in year 9, and we went Barcelona in year 8. But both of them, when you went to France, how did you get there?
We got on a coach.
It's horrible, isn't it?
I didn't mind it because there was one of the teachers there. I forgot his name, but he was really cool. I should know his name because I knew him personally outside of school, after school as well. Like we went to the same church when I was like a good Christian boy. And Mickey, that's his name. And I was playing a song on my phone. It's like, oh, I really like that. We send it me, so we whack out Bluetooth. And I Bluetooth in this song. And that's when I first learned his name was Mickey. So I enjoyed it.
I'm just like, that story kind of just went like, and ended over here. The story kind of started. Yeah, I went to France. Yeah. Oh, Bluetooth. Oh, his name was Mickey.
He was fine. He blew my mind. Hey, Mickey.
And this is why I didn't mind the coach ride.
Yeah, this is why I didn't like the coach ride, because
there we go. We got
the guy's name called Mickey and sent him a song via Bluetooth. I don't remember what it was.
No,
it's probably
so
teenagers, to be honest.
Probably.
Because that's like one time it was the only song I had on my phone, so I listened to it on repeat, and it was my alarm.
No, so I'd gone
like an hour a day.
Oh my God, let him talk.
I'm not done. Right, I'm done.
He was talking first.
He asked me a question.
And then you proceeded to answer it and then answer many other things that we didn't ask.
You might be interested.
No, it's quite good. I'll take it. Yeah, because I remember. So the Barcelona trip, it was like a 29 hour coach ride or something like that. I remember hating the trip because I always get like sick on coaches. Like I don't know why coaches, not buses, but I always get sick on coaches. Could be. I don't know. But then the year after we were going to France, and I'd already been to France before, so I was like, right, if we're going by plane, I'll go, because then it's only like a couple hours at most. It's fine. And they were like, oh yeah, we're going by plane this year. We're not going to go by coach. Oh, okay, sick. I sign up for it. We pay for it. It gets towards the trip. And then I think it was like the day before the trip, they were like, okay, meet us here. We'll get a coach from here in the morning. Oh, we're getting coach to the airport. No, we're getting on a coach all the way. I thought we were getting a plane. Oh yeah, we changed that a while ago. It's just like, great. Stuck on this coach again for the second year in a row. So that wasn't fun. The rest of the trip was though. I think speaking of the Spain trip, we went to this like water park where there was like the biggest vertical slide, like water slide. And then I think I found out something like it was the year after or something like that. Someone died on it and it had to get shut down.
Nice.
So, kind of glad I didn't die, but it was fun. But yeah,
if you want to hear more about Mickey, just leave a comment below.
I thought you were just going to go on another massive tangent, just like, you know what? There's been 0.5 seconds of silence. Do you want to hear more about Mickey? I think there's probably other school trips I went on. Like, I'm pretty sure I probably went to Beacon Fell.
I just nearly choked.
Please don't.
Don't do that. Please.
So, high school, obviously that means work experience.
Oh, yes.
So,
Oh, boy.
Tell me what you did.
Jacob, you can go first.
I was going to say I want to go last on this because mine's a wild ride with a wild ending.
Okay.
Right, okay, go on,
You-
Alan.
Me, okay. So I remember not being asked where I ended up. So I ended up at a chemical plant that was luckily down the road from where I lived. I was going to say the name of it then, but yeah, this.
It's down the road from where I live. I live here, guys.
This is my house. This is where my mum lives. So I started on the Monday, as all work weeks do. And they're like, yeah, be here for like 8 o'clock. So I go there for 8 o'clock and they give me a tour of like this whole chemical plant. And then they give me some like business cards and go, you need to put these into the computer system. And they expected that to take me all day. There was like 50 cards. So I was done by like 9 a.m. And they're like, right, we didn't really have anything else planned. So you can go with this administrator person and go get food from like town. And we're having a buffet. Like, okay, awesome. I wasn't invited to the buffet. But I got to go get the food from M&S for it. And while we're there, I'm like, oh, can we just stop and see my mum, who worked in a bakery at the time? I'm like, Mum, I'm hungry. Can I have a sausage roll? Not Greg's, sadly. So I end up getting a free sausage roll, walking around M&S, munching on that. Gets to midday. I go on my lunch, come back, and I'm like, well, we've got nothing left for you to do, so you can go home. I'm like, okay. This happened until Friday. Until on the Friday, it gets to lunch, and they're like, before you go, just go for your lunch, come here. We want to really thank you for everything you've done. They give me 50 quid for 5 half days work and just sitting there. It was wonderful. All I remember is one day of work and getting food from M&S. I don't know what else I did there, but they thought it was good enough to pay me 50 quid. So I was happy.
Nice.
I got drunk.
So I did mine at Boots. It was shit. Like, so it was with a load of girls who, like, I don't really know how to, like, they were clearly into like makeup and stuff.
A lot
Like,
of fake.
hence, what?
A lot of fake tan.
Yeah, like a lot of fake tan, a lot of makeup, blah blah blah, which is obviously why they decided to do their work experience at Boots. I'd just kind of been assigned it because I didn't bother to find anywhere. But I thought if I didn't bother to find anywhere, I'd end up just doing it in a random shop. And I was like, that's fine. Like, I didn't think they'd put me like... Anyway, besides the point. So they were all on like makeup counters and stuff and getting switched around. And they put me on like women's and men's health. So I spent like 2 weeks restocking sanitary towels and shaving foam. And then at the end of it, they all got like little goodie bags with gift vouchers and stuff. And I got nothing. Like, this isn't even a joke. Like, this is the deadly truth. And that was literally it. Like, I got lunch with whoever else I could find around town who was doing their work experience in town. And it was awful. Do not recommend. Yeah. Jacob, on to you.
Yeah, so I was originally in the same boat where I forgot about it, and I think it was 2 days before I had to hand in like my request. I was like, right, I don't want to just be put in somewhere random, so I went to the shop where I'd done a paper on before, and I was like, can I just do work experience here? It's like really close to mine, and I really can't be able to go in like getting put somewhere in town where I'd have to actually like get a bus and whatnot. They were like, yeah, okay. So I did it there, and I was just behind the counter for 2 weeks, and it was really chill. I think at the end of it, I got, I think they bought me a game or something like that, so that was nice. And then they actually gave me a part-time job afterwards. Unfortunately, it wasn't behind the till, but I kind of, at the time, I was like, oh, but I really enjoy working until, but now I understand why, because I couldn't actually sell alcohol or cigarettes to anyone.
Yeah.
Because I was only 15.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I remember what game they bought me. Actually, it was Mass Effect 2.
Nice.
I don't know why I remembered that, but I've just remembered that. But then after, so I ended up stacking shelves there for a while. But what actually happened to that job, and this is I decided to leave this to here because I couldn't find anywhere else where it really fit. Basically, I was walking to work after school, and I got pushed into a frozen lake by a group of random people who I'd never met before, and I nearly died from hypothermia. So that was fun. Yeah. And after that, I had to quit the job. I was too scared to go out for several months. And that's like the main, like, that's why I like, so obviously people watching this wouldn't know this, but going into this podcast, I was like, I can't think of a single good thing. And that one experience is the reason why, because that's the first thing that comes to my head when I think of school. Even though it wasn't technically at school, I'd finished school, I was on the way to work. That's like my main school memory. So I know it's really grim, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, to be fair though, when you said it, I felt the same thing because I was like, most of my memory of school is being like horrifically bullied and then becoming an alcoholic.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So like I was in the same boat, but I know that like when we sit down and we go like, right, what are our talking points? Like we always come up with like something to say. So
yeah.
I'm like, the bad is as important as the good at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, I know it's one of those where it's like, I could have left it out, but I don't want to be like, oh, school's the best. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Now, school would be easy if I was there now. Like, I mean, considering what life is like after school, I'd kind of be like, yeah, they're like, it's easy going, and I feel like that's a big reason why everyone, that and like hanging out with friends are the two main reasons why everyone misses school. Just everything being easy, because like bar homework, which barely anyone did anyway, there's like zero responsibilities for 90% of your time. But yeah, I think it's good to have the good and bad, just to kind of paint a full picture. Okay, so while I'm talking, like obviously I spoke about something that was kind of went outside of school. So like, what kind of things did you guys do outside of school around that time?
I mean, I think obviously I was partying a lot, which I've already kind of talked about.
Anything structured? Like anything like you did weekly kind of thing?
Well, I guess like I was a sound tech for a while. But
that's quite cool.
Yeah, I guess I had my paper round, like I had my job.
We had youth club together.
Yeah, but I didn't come all the time.
Yeah.
I only came like a few times, and then I was like, bit shit. But yeah, we did have youth club together, Jacob.
I feel like that was just like, oh, let's hang out with people for a few hours.
Yeah.
Like on a Friday night or whatever. I feel like it was a Friday night.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I think my main thing was just hanging out with people. Like, if it wasn't a party, I would just go to someone's house, or they would come to my house, or I would go to the park with my friends. Like, I was very much like a let's hang out person.
Yeah.
Like, that was about it.
Okay. Well, I played football for quite a few local teams when I was in like year 7, year 8. Like, I think because I played for the schools team, but I played for some local teams. I think one of the teams was like the police team. Like there was just a big like football arena behind the police headquarters, and they had a team. So I played in like the kids version of that. And then after I became crap at football, I was in the local brass band as well. So we kind of like went all around I was going to say all around the country. It wasn't. We went all around the county doing competitions and stuff like that. So they were always fun. I suppose that kind of links to what I was doing in school as well, in like the clubs in school.
Hmm.
So like, obviously, as I said, I played football in school. I was on the school football team. I was in the school brass band. I also did basketball. I was on the basketball team in school until I stopped growing, and then I was kind of useless.
I was a prefect in school.
I think I was for a while actually.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
I just remembered. Like,
Wasn't it when you were a prefect, like you had like a certain area?
yeah, you got assigned to an area and you had to keep people out. You were
Yeah.
like, you can't come in here.
Yeah, because mine was the PE block.
I was in. Oh, it's going to be really hard to describe this. It was. Do you know what? I can't describe it. It was just a little area in front of a corridor.
Oh.
Basically. But yeah, and then I would always drag someone in with me, and I kept getting in trouble for it. But I was like, I don't want to sit here alone.
I think I was either I did the same thing or I was assigned with somebody else.
I think I was meant to be with someone else, but they never showed up.
Okay.
See, I've just said like, oh, I didn't do anything, but then you mentioned all these things you did, and I was like, oh, you meant like things, like obviously.
Thing,
No,
thing.
because obviously
Ow.
I did like dancing, like I wasn't really thinking of things that weren't like just like I did dance until like last year. Well, the year before. Sorry, COVID year
2020 didn't
doesn't
exist.
exist.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And then like prior to coming to Lostock, which I've said multiple times now, so we're just ignoring it. I went to church. I had like a youth church that I went to on a Friday night. But then I stopped going to that when I stopped going to dance for a bit. And then I went back to dance, but I never went back to youth church. Now I'm too old for youth church, so
Now you need church.
now I have to go to church because I'm a big girl.
You
I'm-
sound
I'm-
so
I'm
like unsure
actually-
about that.
I'm actually, well, I'm not a very big girl, am I, to be honest, Jacob? But like, but yeah, I think that's it. Like, I don't know. I dabbled in quite a lot of stuff here and there, but those were my like main things. Those were like my big things that I did, that I committed to.
Like in school, I did stuff for the school. I was also in the football team. We won our area's premiership because we were pro. I was also
Nice.
in the athletics team, which, hinting back to the medals from before, which are now behind my head. The ones that you can't see are my gold medals from 400 meters and relay races. I won every year because I was pro.
Oh, you've just reminded me of what I did as well.
I also partook in a fashion show where we got to choose what music we came out to. So I obviously chose Hollywood and Dead. And I, for Sally's sake and only Sally's sake, I have a DVD of it. So yes, I will show you.
But
I'll bring it around next time I see you because I know exactly where it is. I also made a film about zombies that were killed by music. It started off as a kind of Romeo and Juliet kind of thing where there was the rockers and the hip hoppers and everybody all around the world. No, it was
I
rockers and
was
hip
really
hoppers.
hoping that's what you were going with.
And so I really bad acting and stuff. I started the film as a drummer, end as the lead singer. Continuity was great, but zombies came in and we found out they got killed by music. I might have that somewhere. I will definitely look for it. 'Cause
If you do, I want to see that.
golden. Written, directed, and starring yours truly. What else did I do? I was in a band as well, obviously, but I think we've already gone over that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
If you want to know more about that, go back to our first podcast.
Second.
Definitely
was
the
it
first.
Oh no, it was the first. Yeah, second was
was.
just general
Ignore
music.
Jacob. He can't count. The first
No, I
podcast
just knew
was about
I
us.
knew the second one was music, and that's why.
So was the first one, but it was our music.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, I guess.
Okay, well, with what you reminded me of, so I also did athletics, but not by choice. Well, it was by choice, but so every year for sports day, there was always everyone, all the athletic kids would want to sign up to like the 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter. But when it got to the 800 meter and the 1500 meter races, the really long ones, no one would sign up for them. And it got to the point where I think they had to have one person from each tutor or something like that.
Yeah.
So me and my friend were like, right, let's just do this together. We'll both sign up. So every year we'd end up doing that.
Oh, that also reminds me of Sports Day, where we got put into different teams, and we were all named on different hills in the area. So there was Pendle, there was Kendall, which was my team, the best team. And that's not even me bragging, because in my time, we had me, who was the relay time in my time. There was me, who was the 400 meter runner for the school. There was the 100 meter runner for the school, the 200 meter runner for the school, the javelin guy for the school, the guy that did the long jump and triple jump, and the 800 meter. So we won every year because the whole sports team was just put into one group.
I think ours was split up. Was our school split up into like houses still in high school, Sally? Like, did we have
Gryffindor?
No, so there were houses named after famous people from Preston. So I know there was Finney. There was Finney, which was the blue one. There was Baxendale, which was the green one. There was Park, which was the yellow one. And there was Arkwright, which was the red one.
Not that I remember.
No, that might have just been in primary school then that we had those. We definitely had those in primary school. I wasn't sure if they also went to high school. But I know that we were split up into some sort of groups in high school. But I don't remember what they split us up by.
Mine was by, what are they called? I don't know, you had like a group of people you'd meet up with. Form. We were split into forms.
Yeah, I think ours might have just been split up in form, and then we didn't have names for the teams or anything. Because I know it was always me and Jack who did the races and stuff together. Yeah. Jack Burkett. And then you also reminded me I was in the drama club at the end of school, and we did a performance of Romeo and Juliet at the Guildhall.
Nice.
And I was Paris, so the one who is originally going out with Juliet.
Ah, so you get flipped over.
Yeah, and ironically, the big irony here was that Charlie was Romeo, and that had actually happened several times where there was a girl that I really liked, and they ended up getting with Charlie instead.
It's because Charlie's cool. Charlie is so cool.
No, that is essentially what happened. Charlie was the cool one of us.
Charlie was just that guy.
So I just found it funny how that worked, because we all just kind of, I think when you audition, you either had to audition for Romeo or Juliet, and then they'd pick your roles depending on how well they thought you did. So, well, I would have done Alan, but at the time, my tits weren't that big. Notice how I said at the time. And then I think with what Sally was saying about dancing, I also did Taekwondo outside of school. And I think I did kickboxing as well. I did do kickboxing because it was across the road from my house. And I've still got the sticks that I used for kickboxing. Now they're just curtain poles.
I did
Taekwondo as a kid, but I didn't carry it on into high school.
As a kid, I did a mixed martial arts kind of thing. And then my uncle invited me to join his kickboxing group because he was like the sensei or whatever it's called for kickboxing. And I was like, nah, fam, I don't like you.
Well, I think I broke something, which is why I had to stop kickboxing.
Your spirit.
I know I stopped Taekwondo because Taekwondo was really far away from where I lived. So that was just awkward to get to. And then I started kickboxing, which was across the road from where I lived. And I'm pretty sure I broke my hand or something like that. And I just never went back after that. Alan has a cat.
I have a cat. She keeps coming back every so often just to get pets. So she gets to stand up and then come back down.
Mine are both like flat out on the sofa.
I wish I was flat out on the sofa. Yes, so you can be flat out on the
She's
sofa
so
too.
loud.
She is. She never shuts up. I'll get into bed, and as soon as I get into bed, that's when she's like, wait, I want to go outside. Wow! So I get out of bed, let her outside, climb back into bed, and as soon as my head hits that pillow, all I hear is, and she's back in my room. I was like, yeah, I'm done outside now, you bastard. I'm like,
So, I think I do have this written down. What did everyone want to be when you were in school?
Well, it's kind of hard to pin down. Like, I think I always wanted to be a singer, but then I was very much encouraged to be academic. So I then wanted to be a writer. But even as a child, I was like, that's not realistic. So I'm going to be a teacher. And then maybe that's why they kept putting me in with like the reception class and stuff. They were like, fuck it, teach them.
there's less time and money.
I think by the time I got to high school, I kind of was like, yeah, I want to be a singer. Like, I went through phases. There was a point I wanted to be a tattoo artist. Like, it just kept changing. But like, I think underneath it all, I've always wanted to be in a band. But it has changed rapidly over the years. And the follow-on thing we wrote down was, did we live up to our expectations? And honestly, right now, no, I don't think I met any of my expectations, but I am in a band, so at least I'm doing what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
A vibe.
What about you, Alan? I know what one of the first things you wanted to be was.
I wanted to be a fire truck. And before we go on to any others, I am red, but that's as far as I got with it.
I was going to say, we need to point out, he didn't misspeak. He didn't want to be a fireman.
Fire
He
truck.
wanted to be the
I was
truck.
very adamant I was going to be the truck. Then, obviously, it went through the phase as Jacob did as well. I wanted to be a footballer. I was going to play for Blackburn Rovers. I was going to be amazing. Yeah, I gave up on that. And then I wanted to be a lawyer. This was while in primary school. I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. Yeah. My mum kind of gave me the same look, to be honest. So in
By any
primary
chance,
school,
when you start playing Ace Attorney?
No. So in primary school, then I wanted to be a lawyer. I'm like, yeah, lawyers make a lot of money. Fuck it. And then it wasn't really. And then I'm like, I'll just go into IT, which I ended up doing for now. So I guess check that off the bucket list. But then in high school, it's like I want to play music. I want to like be on stage, dance about, act like an idiot, do it for a living. And I can dance about and act like an idiot, but I'm not doing it for a living yet. So
I feel like in the grand scheme of things, that's a big tick for Alan's expectations.
yeah. I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
He's in IT and he's a musician.
Yeah. Not a fire truck, not a lawyer. Pretend to be a lawyer every so often, and depending.
You're going to see a fire truck.
I mean, for you, Jacob, I'll come round tonight. Me and you, a bit of private in the room. I'll wee woo for you.
It's going to be the police going wee wee wee
I'm
when you break
divorcing
national
you.
lockdown.
What? We're not even married yet.
No, I constantly went in loops. So I've noticed this because I wrote down what I wanted to be. So I first wanted to be a musician, and then I realized I couldn't play any instruments, and I tried learning. I tried learning guitar when I was in year 3, and it didn't work. I broke the guitar. I got angry and just hit it against my steel frame bed.
Nice.
So that's how that one ended. And then I wanted to be an author, but I feel like that was just, when you kind of realize that you're quite good at like just general writing, but not actual like writing stories or anything, but just people are like, oh, you're really good at this. And you're like, I should be an author. That's it. They've clocked it.
My handwriting's nice.
Yeah. Oh, Jacob, that story was really good. Yes, I should be an author.
I really liked when the hungry caterpillar ate the leaf. What a twist.
And then I wanted to be a footballer, as probably most young men want to do at some point. And then I got to the point again where I wanted to be a musician again, but this time I wanted to be a singer.
I'm glad that didn't pan out, to be honest.
I went on the top. Well, I'd done the classic thing of, when I sing in the shower to myself, I sound really good. It sounds really like the actual song. I'm going to go onto my school talent show and sing in front of loads of people, and then I'm going to get this is going to be my career. I was awful. I was just really squeaky.
Are there any videos of this time?
No.
Damn.
However, I did technically get through. It was like a Britain's Got Talent kind of thing, and I got through, and I was buzzing. I was like, yes, this is it. And they were like, so you weren't actually that good at singing. So what we want you to do is we want you to dance.
Is that what we put you through because we think you're a bit of an idiot? But...
Basically, we performed Bob the Builder. So they got the actual people who were really good to perform their own stuff. And then they got the people who were all shit, and they put them all through and put them together to sing Bob the Builder.
Except you were that bad. It's like, we don't even want to hear you. We just want to see you good.
No, I had one line, and it was,
Yes, we can.
Rolly too.
That was beautiful.
Like, it was, people jumped out, Scoot, fucking dizzy, and then I went, Rolly too. That was my line. There was another, I don't know if it was a talent show or a drama thing, but I remember performing High School Musical as well at some point. But then I was like, right, I can't sing. I'm going to play guitar again. And I actually made an effort and tried to learn it this time. Got in a band with Sally. I was still shit. Like, somehow I was the lead guitarist.
Mate, I know.
We didn't have anyone else, and it was you who made the band, remember?
See, this is how. I didn't know, but now I know. Well, no, I always thought I was the rhythm guitarist until we found the Facebook page from years ago, and it said I was the lead guitarist.
Well, clearly, when you made the band, you had an ego.
Yeah.
You were like...
Every lead guitarist has an ego, and it's huge.
Yeah. And then I decided I wanted to be an artist when that didn't work out. And then I found out I could draw, so that went out the window. And then I wanted to be a forensic scientist, which is actually a relatively realistic one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather you didn't.
I think I went through the stage of watching CSI a lot. I was like, I want to do this.
You just want to put shades on every day and be like, pun.
Yeah, exactly. Then I wanted to be an actor. And then, just to wrap it around full circle, even though it was after school, I wanted to be a video editor. And now it's back to being a musician again. So
I'm not sure whether we can accurately give Jacob a tick for
I'm going to give him a
expectation,
question mark.
because there's just too much to unpack there.
I have released a song. I am in a published book.
Same.
I've watched more CSI. And I have been paid to edit something before. So that's 4 out of like the 6 things there.
60.
No, because musician was there 3 times.
Okay. So when you release 3 songs.
The only things I never. Oh wait, no, and I performed Romeo and Juliet, like at Guildhall. So that's another. So realistically, apart from Footballer, I've done all of them. So
What we'll do is we'll just go down we'll break into PNE and we'll just let you kick a football. And then we're like, done.
Yeah, done.
You
Sorted.
pass it to me, I pass it back. Done it. Both done it then.
Guarantee you'll pass it back to me and I'll just miss. I'll just
Fall
miss the ball.
over.
Follow my ass.
I think we're playing Rocket League, try and jump in the air.
Right, so let's, as a follow-on, because we've just talked about like what we wanted to do. So my interest now is, what subjects did you choose to do? Did they correlate with what you wanted to do as a career? And like, you know,
I'm going to
Let-
say yes. And
Let's
I'm
talk
going to say
about that.
yes that even I almost started taking Jacob's forensic science away from him. Because obviously our year was the year where they dropped SATs for year 9. Okay, my
Okay.
school dropped SATs for year 9.
No. Okay, right. I know
So-
why Sally's confused here. So did ours, but we took ours early because we were in the top sets at the time.
Oh, see, we didn't, but we found out and we're like, well, you might as well do some extra stuff. So we ended up doing double award science. We were going to do triple award, but everybody else found it too difficult, so we did astronomy instead.
I didn't think they did SATs in high school. I thought they were called CATs.
Same
No,
thing.
that's year 7.
Yeah, year 7.
Year
was-
7 is
Yeah.
cats,
There was
year
a
9
year
is
9
SATs.
one, but they got rid of it because they were like,
I think
well,
we
what's the
did
point?
some of them early, and then they stopped doing
we
them.
didn't do any of them.
Oh.
Even though I was top set, and then I did textiles because I really wanted to make a beanbag, which I did, but it was no beans, it was fluff.
So it's a
made a-
pillow.
It's a
You made a
big
cushion.
pillow. It's a big cushion. Then I did music, a BTEC in music. So I think that came across quite well. And I also did IT. So
So what you're saying, what you took was useful?
kinda.
Wow.
I mean, if you say making a fake dating app in Microsoft Access like useful, then sure, absolutely useful. That was my
Well,
IT work.
I took. So is that all of the subjects you took?
Well, obviously, I did the maths, science, English,
Yeah.
language, RE.
So I took applied art and design because that was at the point where I wanted to be an artist, and I was at the point where I realized swiftly I couldn't draw. Luckily, applied art and design, they did let you do some of like a lot of it in like Photoshop, so I still managed to actually pass and get the GCSE for that, even though I couldn't draw. I did drama, one of my options. I did product design, which was basically woodworking, and I think I made a speaker for my final project, and it was like a big concert stage, and like had the actual like the speaker setup that they had on the stage was where the actual sound was coming from.
Nice.
So that was cool. And then I took French. So
Yeah.
how much of that was useful now? None of it.
I dropped French and Spanish. I can't be
Well,
honest with that.
They told us so before we took our options. I don't know if Sally was told this as well, but I got told that you had to pick a language. So I was like, right, I'll pick French. And then I'd already decided, right, I'll do French, and then I'll pick this one, like the other 3. And then when it actually came to my options, I think it turned out you didn't actually have to pick a language, but I'd just been told that. So at that point, I'd already got it in my head that I was taking French.
Yeah,
So-
no, you didn't have to pick one.
Yeah. I got told that though, which is stupid. The one thing I really wish I took was music, and then I could have carried that on.
Yeah.
But that was during my lull of I don't want to be a musician anymore because I got kicked out of my band.
There's a big boy behind you, Sally.
I know, I saw him come in. So I took, well, my choices were art and design, which at the time, this was during my I want to be a tattoo artist phase. So, you know, it was a logical choice. And media studies, which I don't regret taking because that's probably the closest I've come so far to like something relating to actually going into journalism. History, because I actually really enjoy history. Like it wasn't relating to anything I actually wanted to do career-wise. I just like learning about history. And then long course RE, right? But then long course RE got cancelled because not enough people took it. And they were like, well, if you still want to do it, you can do it after school. And you'll get an extra GCSE, one more than everyone else has. But you'll still have to pick an extra option to take during school time. And I was like, but the only option left in that box is geography. And I don't want to do geography. So I had to take geography. to cut a long story short. So I ended up taking geography, but obviously still took one course RE because I wanted to do it. But yeah, that's what I took. Feel like obviously with regards to music, it didn't really apply towards what I want to do, but I don't think I ever would have taken something music related as a subject because I feel like it sucks the enjoyment out of it. And like, I don't create art anymore after taking it at a school level.
Yeah.
So, you know, not that like if you're watching this and you're like gonna choose your subjects or choose your college subject or whatever, do what's right for you. But if you're an artist and you really, really love making art, please be aware that it could make you hate it forever.
Yeah, I forgot to
And I'm
mention.
not the only person to say that.
I also did PE. I forgot that completely. I got to do trampolining. But it was like it was PE and like how your innards work and like the different systems that are in play.
Oh yeah. Was it? Oh, I think I know what you mean because I think it was called like PE and PS. So I think it was physical education and physical studies that ours was called because I think
I've
everyone
got a
had to do.
GCSE in it.
Yeah, I think everyone had to do PE, but it wasn't actually a GCSE. But you could take PS, which was PE, but the actual studying
Yeah.
of it to get a GCSE. But I think following on from what Sally said, I think the reason I really wish I'd taken music is so that I could have done like something like audio engineering or something like that and been able to learn how to do that because that's one skill where I really wish I'd gone into.
I think I do agree with you. Like, I kind of wish I'd been able to take it somewhere along the line. But I feel like it's one of those things that if I pick it up, I'll just pick it up somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
I'm talking into that.
Look at him. Look at who it is. You don't know him, but you're not going to look, are you? I want to be down there.
But like, I do know what you mean. Like, I feel like those skills I would have found helpful to pick up, but I also feel like I would have gone into music wanting to like perform and stuff and like but wanting to do it in my own way, and it would have been very structured and like you need to do this and you need to do that, which is what happened with art, and I was like, this has ruined my life. Okay, so I guess the last thing really that I can think of is kind of the end of school, and obviously the all important thing, like your exam results. Like, it's like a big moment, and it obviously means your progression onto college or not onto college, like whatever you choose to do next. And like, I guess obviously you don't necessarily have to say what you did or didn't get, but like, did you get what you anticipated getting? You know, did it get you to where you wanted to go? Like,
so for me, by RE, the lowest mark I got was a B. And I was like 4 marks off an A star in maths or something silly like that. It got resent off, but it came back the same. And I think my B was in English language because I really enjoyed English literature because like the really fun stories to read. And then RE, I got a D because I never got told when the exam was, and then never got told when the resit was. So when the teacher comes and goes, where were you? What do you mean where I was? I was in class. It's like, you had a resit today. I went, no, I didn't. No, you did. You did. I'm like, well, you could have fucking told me. Like, we're losing her. She's gone. Let him speak. He has wisdom. If you meow in the kitchen, you get ham. Talking to each other. All right, who's next? So yeah, I got to where I wanted to go. Basically, I got good results.
I'll go next because I'm the reverse of Alan. B was my highest result.
Oh,
Because I think I got like a B in maths and drama,
Yeah.
C's in English science, English literature, English language, science, French, and art, and then I got D's in product design and RE. The one mark which was going to be really good, which was IT, which I was on track for an A-star for. The teacher lost my work. This was like halfway into the year, like lost all my coursework, and they said, "Where's your work?" And I said, "I sent it to you. It was on your laptop. You've already seen like most of it. Like I put it in the folder with the rest of my work." And he was like, "Right, let me check again." And he went, "There's no folder with any of your work." And I was like, "Well, that's the folder I've been putting my work in like for the past 2 years." At some point, it's gone missing. And they're like, "Right." And they basically, I think the school did a big investigation into it, and they were like, "Look, we've looked into it. We found out it's not your fault. However, you can either carry on from now, but you will fail, or you can just drop it." And I was like, "Well, you're not really giving me much of a choice then, are you?" So I just dropped it and just didn't take it in the end.
sue them.
Oh, that, I was going to say, if we think that's bad, wait till we end up talking about my uni at some point. But yeah, it got me where I needed to. I think for the college I went to, I needed 2 Bs and 3 Cs. So I pretty much got exactly what I needed to get into the college I wanted.
Yeah.
So that was fine. I mean, I ended up dropping out of that college anyway, and then going to a different college because I hated it. But yeah, I think at the time it got me where I needed to be, and haven't really needed them since. What about you, Sally?
I did really well. Like obviously it was like a complicated time because like I was going through like biopsies and stuff at the time and rushing home from hospital and then going straight into exams. So like I was meant to get like A stars and like A's and everything, but like I still got like 13 GCSEs A star to C. So
Nice.
and yeah, I got onto the course I applied to. Well, the 4 A levels that I applied to. And yeah, it was fine. Like, but I think like it's important to note that like even if you don't, there's always backup options. Like, bye bye. Like I was.
I love that little tail whip before he sat down.
I was like proper freaked when I picked up my results because obviously I knew what I'd been going through, and I really felt like I hadn't been putting in my best work. So I was really scared to open them, but like I obviously did quite well anyway. But I think even if I hadn't, I probably I had special circumstances in place because of like the hospital and the doctor and stuff, so they would have bumped my grades up. But even if for whatever reason you don't do well, like I think it's important to note that like there's always somewhere you can go with it. Like
and not everybody's good with exams. Like
yeah, and like exams aren't the be all and end all. Like you can be good at other things that aren't
100%.
exam related.
Yeah, that was my issue with most of mine. Like I failed most of like written work for a lot of things. Like I think in drama I got A stars in all of my practical stuff, and I got like C's and D's. No, I think it was D's and E's actually in my written work. But because it was drama, there was slightly more practical than there was written, so I ended up with a B overall. Whereas product design, for the actual product itself, I think it was a B. But because of all my written work, which was a lot of it, I got marked all the way down to a D. So we're different. I think that was like my issue with most of the subjects was like the practical side I did really well, and then the theory I did awful.
Yeah.
But I think like with exams and stuff, I did quite bad. I think I was like 2 marks off an A in maths, which looking back is annoying because then I would have at least had an A in something.
I just remember this. I got taken out of my art exam twice. Once to have a jab, and once for a college interview. And like in the college interview, I sat down and I was literally like, I just got pulled out of my art exam for this. Because like you get like 8 hours or something for your art exam, like
Yeah.
possibly more, I can't remember. But like, and I was like, I was in the middle of my art exam. Like, what am I doing here? I already know I'm not coming to your college. Can I leave? Like, and then they pulled me out like the next day that we were doing the art exam, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you've got your HPV jab," and I was like,
Why can't you book this around a schedule?
A different.
"I'm trying to do my exam."
Please, the paper mache is drying.
Like, what the fuck, man? Oh, funny.
I mean, at least you didn't have the jab in the hand you needed to make the art with.
Literally.
Yeah.
Imagine going back to an art exam and then like jab the wrong hand. I can't draw anymore.
They had us set up on shared tables, and someone spilled orange paint on my charcoal piece in the middle of my
Oh.
art exam.
Ouch.
And they were just like, "You're just gonna have to fix it." And I was like, "But this is out of my control."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, you don't get extra time or anything. You've just got to deal with it." And I was like, "The fuck."
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. It has been fun talking, guys.
It has. Living back the
Um,
memories of high school and primary school
Yeah,
and all the time in between.
hasn't been too horrific.
No.
No,
Jacob's
a
not
lot
broken down
more.
in tears yet, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait until the call ends.
That's
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Ah,
It's been a vibe.
it has.
So anyway, we hope you like the podcast. If you have any ideas for future podcasts, please leave them in the comments, especially if it's something that you would be interested in discussing, and we would be happy to have you on. Just let us know. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Like and
Okay.
subscribe and shiz.
No,
Yeah.
we're not doing that. Ignore him.
Oh, you gotta go casual with it. It's right. If you want to do it, I don't care.
No, just do it. Don't do it. Follow us on Twitter instead, though.